9 o'clock. My name is Christian Waugh, and I hereby bring the Citrus County Code Compliance hearing to order. So for these hearings, we normally follow an agenda. You may have seen it, you may not. The first item on the agenda is the call to order. The second item is the pledge to the flag, so I'd like to ask you to join me in standing as you are able for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If any person decides to appeal any decision made by the Code Compliance Special Master with respect to any matter considered at this public hearing, he or she will need to ensure that a verbatim record of the proceedings is made, which record shall include the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based.
All right, and so what was just read is also on the agenda, if you'd like to review it. The next item on the agenda is approving the minutes from the Wednesday, June 18th, 2025 hearing. I have reviewed the minutes. Are there any proposed modifications, deletions, changes? I don't hear any. I don't have any. So what I'm going to do is I will approve and sign the minutes. Is there a staff update?
No, sir.
There is no staff update. All right, so now we get to the reason why we're all really here today, and that's the new cases that are here to appear in front of me. I usually like to give an opening statement, so I'll say again, good morning. My name is Christian Waugh. I'm a licensed Florida attorney acting as what is called a special master. That's a fancy title created by law, but what it means is that Citrus County has hired me to preside over your hearing. What I'm going to tell you during this opening statement applies to each of your cases, so I would appreciate it if you'd pay attention. When your case is called, please come forward and you will be placed under oath. If you are appearing at a hearing like this for the first time, the county will call its case and I will allow the county to present its case. You will have an opportunity to cross-examine any of the county's witnesses, and then you will have an opportunity to present your case regarding the violation. That will be your opportunity to present evidence and to make legal argument as you wish. It is important that you take your time during this process because it is likely going to be your only chance to make your case before me. I will also ask whether or not you are contesting the violation. If you do not, actually, I do see someone, ma'am, sir, if y'all in the back, I just appreciate it if you would, no, well, it's just, it might be important for your case, so I'd ask you to listen. You will have an opportunity to cross-examine any of the county's witnesses, and you will also have an opportunity to present your case. That will be your opportunity to present evidence and make legal argument. It's important that you take your time because it is likely going to be your only chance to make your case before me. I will also ask whether or not you are contesting the violation. If you do not contest the violation, I will assume a factual basis for the violation exists and proceed to ask you how much time you need to fix the violation or to work with the county. This will save time for yourself and others, but you are by no means required to do so. If you oppose the case or simply want to be heard, you have that right. At any time during the hearing, I may have questions of parties, witnesses, or staff. Before issuing a ruling, I will ask if there are any members of the public who wish to speak, and if there are, such members of the public will have one opportunity to speak per case. Such right to speak is not unlimited, and public comment should be focused on the case and made as succinctly as possible. Although persons may be upset or even passionate about what they have to say, all witness testimony must remain civil, and you must not interrupt other witnesses, parties, or attorneys. In most instances, if you are found guilty of a violation, the law requires that you be given a time to comply before a fine begins. You must fix the violation by that date, or the fine will accrue for each day that you remain in violation after that date. The law allows Citrus County to impose the accrued fine as a lien on all of your property. The county has the right to foreclose on that lien, or to seek money judgment against you after the lien has been recorded for 3 months. I encourage anyone here who has questions about their rights or remedies to seek their own legal counsel. In all cases in which I find that a violation has occurred, I will impose all costs required by county law. I incorporate these into all of my orders as standard provisions. If you bring your property back into compliance with the code during the time that I allow, that cost will remain minimal. But if you do not timely fix the violation, you will be responsible for additional costs, as well as the cost of the lien imposed. Although it's only happened a few times in my years as a special master, I may continue your case if I find the need for further evidence or argument. And finally, you do have the right to appeal any order that I make today as provided by law. Thank you very much.
The first case on today's agenda is going to be Gil Lilienthal, case number 2025-00820, Code Officer Cody McGuire, page 26 of your agenda. Expert on the case is Utility Account Analyst Deborah Burns.
Perhaps you were deep in negotiations during my speech.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Can you state your name for the record?
Gil Anthony Lilienthal.
Thank you.
All right, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right, so
we kind of ran into a little bit of information here, actually talking back there, and we think that there needs to be more research that conducted.
okay. Sir, are you asking for this case to be continued?
Continue till next month.
Okay. Do you have any objection to that?
No,
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, well, if the parties agree, then what I'll do is I'll continue this hearing to the August code compliance hearing. I don't know what that exact date is. It'll be the third Wednesday of August,
Okay.
the 20th.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next two cases on the agenda, Jordan Baker, case numbers 2025-00701 and 2025-00703. Code Officer Cody McGuire, pages 9 and 10 of your agenda.
And Your Honor, I was notified that the parties spoke before today's proceedings and have come to an agreement of no contest with 2 weeks to cure and $50 a day thereafter
Okay,
for both
just so-
cases.
Okay, so we've got two cases, and in each case, there's a plea of no contest, and the agreement will be that I grant 2 weeks on each case to bring the property into compliance. We've got a overgrown kind of grass case and a junk case, and if in either case it's not brought into compliance as ordered, it'll be a $50 a day fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the lowest fine that Citrus County is willing to go to. Does that make sense, sir?
Yes, sir.
And what is your name for the record?
Jordan Baker.
All right, welcome. And that doesn't, you haven't agreed to anything different, that's what you've agreed to,
Yes, sir.
correct? All right, then what I'll do is I'll assume a factual basis in each case. Case number 25-703, 25-701, and grant 2 weeks in each case to bring the property in compliance, and if it's not brought in compliance, $50 a day. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
Next case, Tanya Lynn Cox and Timothy Roger Duff. Case number 2025-00757, Code Officer Alan Jonason, page 14 of your agenda. Expert on the case, Land Development Director Joanna Coutu.
I do.
Timothy Roger Duff.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Alan Jonason, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is case number 2025-00757. Citrus County Land Development Code Section 4002, Site Development Without a Development Order or Permit. The address of the violation is 1099 South Chateau Point, Inverness, Florida. Property owners are Cox Tanya Lynn and Duff Timothy Roger. This property is 0.54 acres and is zoned CLR and was purchased on 7 April 2025. I have good service via signed certified mail receipt and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on 22 May 2025, and an aerial photo from the property appraiser's website from 7 May 2024. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the certified return mail receipt, and a copy of the pre-hearing order.
What's the narrative on, like, what's the county alleging happened on the property?
Tree removal and site grading.
Okay. All right, sir, so normally at this point, I ask that you be allowed an opportunity to see what they want to introduce as evidence. So if you could take a look at these documents and let me know if you have any objection to them being evidence in this hearing, I'd appreciate it.
No, sir.
Okay. All right, then I'd ask you to give them back, and then I'll go ahead and take a look at them. Are you contesting whether there's a violation on the property?
I just was going by the building permit. I mean, it's all in the working, and I was unaware that you couldn't cut any trees down. My neighbor asked me to cut a tree that was hanging over his thing, so I cut
Okay.
numerous trees down. Was unaware. I've done been to the, had it surveyed, following the list. I went to the courthouse, got the list on what to do is for the building permit.
Sure.
Of course, I've built homes in Tennessee. We bought this lot.
Okay.
And so I was going through the list. I was unaware that you couldn't cut any trees.
Okay.
Had it surveyed, got the deed going down the list. I've got Mark Norman, the local guy, doing all the drafting. In fact, we should have that permit shortly. But the complaint, when I had it surveyed, my neighbor's fence was like 12 feet on my property.
Okay.
And when I showed him just the pins where it was surveyed, and that's who filed the complaint. I mean,
Well, first of all, let me admit these documents as exhibits A and B as evidence for the hearing. And I mean, I am looking at the photos. It does look like some trees were cut down.
Right.
You're not arguing that,
no,
right?
sir. No,
Okay.
sir.
Well then, Mr. Jensen, I'll let you continue.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
On 22 May 2025, I conducted my initial inspection and observed the property to be in violation. On 22 May 2025, a notice of violation was issued for site development without a development order or permit, which is a violation of the ordinance I mentioned earlier. On 23 June 2025, I conducted research with no permits issued and a notice of hearing was issued. As of my final inspection on 15 July 2025, the property remains in violation and I have had contact with the property owner. I checked again this morning, there is no valid building permit.
Well, I mean, what did y'all talk about when you had contact with the owner?
He just indicated he had removed the trees and prepared the property for building. And then after that, we did not speak any further. I do have Joanna Catu from Land Development here as my expert witness.
Sure. Good morning.
Good morning, Joanna Catay, Land Development, Coastal Lakes Residential, vacant lot, just a little over a half acre. And right now, I don't have any permit applications. It sounds like he's working on that, but not yet.
Site clearing looks good, but it doesn't look like it was done with a permit, you know?
Right. I've got the list, and I mean, I didn't see anything about site removal. I mean, I started down the list. I had it surveyed.
Well, what are you're referring to a list. What list are you talking
Well,
about?
I've got a list here. I went to the county courthouse, and it says a list for Citrus County residential application checklist. And application fee, building permit application, which I've got the application, septic permit, which I don't want to get till, and then you got to have all these house drafting copies. And I've got a local guy doing that. In fact, I just got his copies last week.
Well, I always want to
So
explain
he's following my
why we're here and the issue why. And that checklist is interesting, but not what I say dispositive, because and the county hates this, but look, this is what you have to know.
Right.
This is what you can't run afoul of. And so if there's something in here that you've violated, it's a violation. And one of those sections is LDC 4002A, and it does talk about how no development allowed by this code shall be established, changed, or altered, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, until there's a site development plan or a plat. And here what they're saying is there's nothing like that would have authorized this kind of tree removal.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah, I mean, so what is the county requesting here?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special master assess a one-time fine of $5,000 along with the administrative cost to abate the violation. This amount was selected based on the actions of the property owners once they were advised of the violation, as well as the severity and irreversible and irreparable damage caused by the violation.
Usually on these cases, I don't level the full $5,000 fine because based on, unless there's willfulness, like real willfulness involved and, or prior. I think that, what your testimony, sir, seems to have been is that, you didn't imagine that it was against the rules, that this is, you have some experience with this or development or building, and
Yes, sir.
you've never had this issue before.
Yes, sir.
Now, there are some trees that can be taken down without a permit, but, that's why the county presented the property appraiser aerial, because I can tell that many of the trees that, or at least some of the trees that were taken down would not have qualified under that exemption. In other words, they're a little bigger than what you're allowed to take down without a permit. So what I'll do is I'll find that the property, actually, first, what I want to do is I want to hear from the public. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? I will find that the property's in violation, and I'll assess a one-time fine of $2,500. So, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Next case on the agenda, Celeste C. Fissel, case number 2025000322, Code Officer Erica Olson, page 18 of your agenda.
Good morning.
Good morning. I do.
My name is Gabrielle Fassel.
And what case number is this?
This
Or
is
what
from-
page in the agenda? Oh, how do I pronounce it? Fassel?
Fassel.
Fassel? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good morning.
Good morning. Erica Olson, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is case number CE 2025000322, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20, TAC 31 Alpha of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 3045 Lee Way, Homosassa, 0.24 acres, zoned MDR MH. The owner is Celeste C. Fissel. Sorry. I've got good service posting the continuation letter on the property and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. At this time, I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Photos taken during my initial inspection on the 4th of March 2025. Photos taken during my corrective action on the 18th of March. Subsequent inspection on the 20th of May 2025. And my pre-hearing inspection on the 14th of July 2025. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, copy of the notice of hearing, copy of the general pre-hearing order, copy of the continuation letter, and a photo of the continuation letter posted on the property.
And would you mind giving me a little bit of narrative on this as well?
So we received a complaint about junk. When I went out there on the property, there was appliances in the yard, a large pile of garbage on the property, but more towards the road, and then just like miscellaneous items all throughout. There's like a garage on the property, and you can see into the garage and all the stuff that's in there as well.
Okay. Usually at this point, Ms. Fassel, what we do is I ask you to take a look at documents that they're proposing to be evidence, exhibits A and B, and let me know if you have any objection to them being evidence.
And Your Honor, can we
And
inquire
am I-
as to her relationship to the owner?
I'm the daughter.
Okay.
I thought that was obvious with my last name.
No, I don't know if it is obvious, but thank you for clarifying.
These are all the documentation that was
We're taught not to make assumptions these days based on
Can I
appearance,
state-
gender, all kinds of things.
Can I make a statement about something?
Yeah.
As I'm looking at this is the first time I'm seeing of this. I'm on community control and I live in Hernando County.
Okay.
My mother is dead, and I didn't know any of this. And I am literally, after this court hearing, going to the household to kick the person that's there, destroying this house apparently.
Okay, so you're not residing there.
No,
Okay.
I'm in the process of trying to probate this house.
Okay.
My mother died last year in September.
Gotcha.
And she had sketchy people living in her house. So, and I thought they were gone, but apparently I guess not.
Okay.
And so I just got this letter. I didn't know about her coming in March. I didn't know about her coming the second March, May, or any other time she
Well,
came.
we'll get to that, Ms. Vassell. The first thing I want to do is talk about these documents. So do you have any objection to them being evidence in this hearing?
I mean, if it's proven that it's shown there, I mean, I haven't been to the house, then,
Okay,
I mean, the pictures see that it's there. I
okay.
can't deny that picture.
That's fine. All right. So you may be, in fact, you may be the legal owner of the property today.
I'm not yet.
Well, I encourage you to consult an attorney, but the way probates work is, especially when it's a homestead, is it automatically descends automatically to the heirs. Do you have any other siblings?
I have half sister and half brother,
Okay.
but I've been talking to my lawyer and they have not said that that house is mine yet.
I'm not gonna, spend time explaining the law, but I think that you really should consult with your lawyer. I actually do think you're an owner, but certainly you're not the person on the notice today, right? So you're not the person listed who's been notified or anything like that. And the intricacies of homestead law are, well, they're intricacies for a reason. So that's why I'm encouraging you to speak with a lawyer, because I have a different opinion. I actually do think you're an owner. So in any event, I will look at these pictures. I didn't hear any valid objection to the documents, so I'll have them be exhibits A and B and just take a brief look at them. Ms. Olson, have you had contact with anyone on the property?
On the 5th of March, I had contact with Gabrielle.
Oh, okay.
How?
You called me.
Excuse me, I'm not, I'm talking to you, Ms. Olson. So tell me about that contact.
She did tell me that she was on house arrest. At the time, she said that she was in Dunellen,
Okay.
and that it was difficult for her to get out to the property.
That's fine. So that's the only contact you've had with anyone related to the property?
Yes.
Have you ever seen anyone on the property?
No.
Okay. All right, is that all you want to present in regards to the case, or do you have other, more narrative?
It just goes into what I witnessed in the pictures like normal, so.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'd like to hear it if you have it prepared.
Sure. On the 4th of March, 2025, I conducted my initial inspection regarding a complaint of junk, and photos were taken. During this inspection, I observed a large pile of garbage, household furniture, appliances, totes, and miscellaneous garbage strewn throughout the property. A notice of violation was sent. On the 5th of March, I received a call from Gabrielle, the daughter of the listed owner, who stated that her mother had passed away and she was trying to get the property cleaned up, but it is difficult because she is on house arrest. On the 18th of March, a corrective action inspection was conducted, and I found the property remained in a similar condition as my previous inspection. A subsequent inspection was conducted on the 20th of May, and the property remained in violation. Due to an issue with our system, this case was continued, and I have not had contact with the owner since the 5th of March, and the number is no longer in service.
Well, it sounds like you won't have contact
Well,
with the
with-
owner.
with
Yeah,
her.
yeah, with the prior owner at any
Yes.
rate. Ms. Vassell, are you allowed to be here today?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
permission to go to
Okay.
court. I'm
Okay.
allowed to go to court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
It's very hard for me to get permission to go out there until my PO told me that until I get official documents that states that I am legally the owner of that household, I'm only allowed to go maybe once a month. And I haven't gotten
Well-
any documents from my lawyer stating that yet.
well,
That's why I said I was
the
confused.
point of an order determining homestead is that it ratifies it for the public records. In other words, when someone dies, normally, actually ownership goes to the heirs automatically, but the point of probate is to ratify it for the public records, to clear up the title so that all other people are on notice and that kind of thing. So that's why a homestead is a really interesting animal. It really does descend automatically. And maybe your PO can take a view at this video. So at any rate, I am going to find that the property's in violation, but I'd love to hear if there's anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case. I don't see or hear anyone. What's the county's recommendation?
The Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special magistrate assess a fine of $150 per day along with administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient to abate this violation.
Yeah, this is it's, there are some large items that it'll take a little time to clean up, it seems. Has there been any improvement since you started the case?
No, sir. If
Okay.
anything, it's getting worse.
Okay. Ms. Fissell, what's your plan then to,
Well, I planned on going to that house and calling the cops and, well, not calling the cops, but talking to the person that's supposedly at my house that I just found out.
and who's that?
His name is Kenny. I didn't know he was still there. So I haven't been to that house since January. So I plan on going there to try to clean up as much as I possibly can today. But I can't promise when I'll be able to come back.
Right.
I've been trying to find people to clean up for me, but we're in Citrus County. There's a lot of not good people. Let's be real. So I'm just working the best that I can with the situation that I have.
All right. Unfortunately, due to the bad nature of the junk, due to the fact that it's been there already for like this, I guess for 4.5 months, maybe longer. I can't let it go that long. So what I'm going to do is find that the property is in violation, and I'll grant. But at the same time, I just don't think it should take that much time either. I mean, I think it's probably a couple trips to the dump, but 15 days. I'll grant 15 days to bring the property in compliance, and if it's not brought into compliance within 15 days, there will be a $150 fine
Okay.
per day.
Okay.
All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, Arthur K. and Marissa A. Adler, case number 2025-00807, Code Officer Julie Wilkinson, page 5 of your agenda, expert on the case, Land Development Director Joanna Katu.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Julie Wilkinson, Citrus. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes.
My name is Renuka Ramkaran.
Okay. Good morning, ma'am. And do you reside at or own this property?
No, I'm the property manager for the construction that they're doing, and I'm not the owner of the property.
You are the property manager
Manager.
for the construction company?
Yeah.
So like, is it your job to maintain the integrity of the site, or?
Yes, and I see all the jobs and make the go-ahead, clear the property
And they make you come to this hearing?
One's out of state, it's Math, another case, it's 2 owners that's there. One's in New Jersey and one is in Weirsdale, and he got some, he's older,
Okay.
so he got some medical condition.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I don't really know that you have standing to represent the owners in this hearing. In other
Okay.
words, I don't know that you're able to stand in the shoes of the people who are ultimately going to be held responsible here. I
Yes.
do want to hear what you have to say,
Yes.
but we'll get to that, okay?
Okay.
And what's your last name again? I got the Renuka part, but
Ramkaran,
Ramkaran.
yeah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Let's see. All right, Ms. Wilkinson, what do you have to say?
This is case number 2500807, violation of Citrus County Land Development Code Section 4002, site development without a development order or permit. The address is 5513 North DeCarlo Drive, Citrus Springs, Florida. The property owner is Arthur K. Adler and Marissa Adler. I have good service via posting the notice of hearing at the property and at the Lacando Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they'd be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos I took during my initial inspection on May 28th, 2025. Photos for my corrective action inspection on June 13th, 2025. Photos for my final inspection on July 15th, 2025, and an aerial from the Citrus PA Properties Appraiser's website dated May 6, 2024. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, photo of the notice of hearing posted at the property, and a copy of the posting affidavit.
Is this a site clearing case? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So what I'm doing now is I'm reviewing what's been presented as potentially exhibits A and B. I'm going to admit them both as evidence. And is there anyone else from the public here on this case? Just curious. I know you, ma'am. I'll get to you. All right, so I'm just going to take a quick look through the documents. One thing I'll say for the parties who do site clearing is, you know, they do it. You know, they don't miss a whole lot. Okay, please proceed.
So it's a site modification. The lot was previously wooded as indicated in the aerial from the PA. I have had contact with Ms. Ranuka. She's been very kind and very easy to talk to and work with. She's explained the situation. It's her first, or she's starting to work in Citrus County and was unaware of that she couldn't clear the lots because I guess somewhere else you can.
There are places that you can, as
Yeah.
we're constantly learning. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really just a straightforward
Yeah.
case.
Okay. And this case, you started it back in May. All right, so.
I have one more thing.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
am so sorry.
Go ahead.
They are planning to build, and she was having trouble getting registered on the new Acela website that the county has. And so the supervisor for licensing and compliance had reached out to me by email saying that he was working with her, trying to get them registered so that they could apply for a building permit.
So that's why there is not presumably an application already.
Yes.
Okay. How big is the lot? 0.23, okay. All right, ma'am, I would like to hear from you. Is there anything you'd like me to know about this?
I didn't know that we needed, because, you know, I worked in Marion County and I pulled permit there, you know, and we don't need a permit for that, you know, so I didn't know, I'm sorry, I wouldn't, you know, now I'm learning the whole system.
Sure.
You know, I'm learning how to use the portal too. We have all the blueprints and everything ready to submit. It's just that it will come out of me, you know, because the fee would be out of my commission because
I see.
I'm the one that's responsible.
You're gonna take the
Yeah.
hit,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, I do, and you know, I mean,
sorry.
well, you've already seen one of these cases, so you can see what they kind of look like. What is the county's recommendation?
It's going to be $5,000.
Okay. You know, although you're the second Ranuka I've ever known.
Oh, wow.
The first one has worked in my office for 10 years.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, I that's not a mitigating factor for reducing a fine. So, I am going to, you know, based on what I assess as your credibility, assess a one-time fine of $2,500. It is assessable to the owners. Whatever you guys work out is between y'all, but that's the typical way that I rule on these in Citrus County.
Okay.
So I'll issue a written order to that effect.
But it's one for the whole entire.
No, this is for this property.
Oh dear.
Oh, so
Are there
there's-
others?
Yes.
Yeah, there's 3 of them because they were all next to each other, and my friend.
Well, we'll see how the others go. So this one is $2,500.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Next case on the agenda, Matt Ageley, case number 2025-00808, Code Officer Julie Wilkinson, page 5, I'm sorry, page 6 of the agenda. Expert on the case, Joanna Katu, Land Development Director.
Do y'all want to do this one and the next one together? I mean, I know they're separate addresses, but they're the exact same circumstance, and they're right next door to each other.
We can if that's,
I would prefer it.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's fine.
Okay.
Myself. Yeah.
so both cases, it's going to be case numbers 2025-00808 and 2025-00809. They're pages 6 and 7 of your agenda.
Oh, and this is the same exact,
Yes, it's the
basically
previous
fact
case.
pattern as before.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything is the same, just the address has changed, and the owner. So for this case, for 00808, that address is 5525 North DeCarlo Drive, Citrus Springs, Florida. The property owner is Matt Ageley, and the photos, I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they'd be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos I took during an initial inspection on May 28th, 2025. Photos from a corrective action inspection on June 13th, 2025, and photos from my final inspection on July 15th, 2025, and an aerial from the Citrus Property Appraiser website dated May 6th, 2024. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, a photo of the notice of hearing posted at the property, and a copy of the posting affidavit. For case number 00809, the address is 5559 North DeCarlo Drive in Citrus Springs, Florida. Property owner is Matt Ageley. I have good service via posting the notice of hearing at the property and at the Lecanto Government Building. Exhibit A and B are exactly the same.
Well, they're exactly the same.
Well,
They're photos I take of the
At the
particular
same
lots.
dates. Yes,
Yeah, they show the same thing, but on different lots.
yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
And I do want to speak with, well, are there any members of the public who want to be heard on these cases? Certainly, I do have some questions for you, Ms. From Karen, if you would. Well, yeah, we'll take up these exhibits. They'll be admitted as exhibits A and B in each case. Do the owners know about what's happening
Yes,
today?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I mean, did you tell them, do they know what the potential consequences of this hearing
Yes, I
are?
keep them posted and I let them know everything.
Well, what I mean is before today, are they aware that we're talking about fines being levied on the property?
Yes, she did tell me it would be some sort of fine,
Okay.
which I understand that I would have to pay something.
Oh,
but-
okay. Well, no, again, it's not you, it's
Yeah, I
the
know.
owner.
Yeah.
And that's my concern, I guess, with what they know. This is, the issue with are there more than 3 cases, or is it just
No,
these 3
it's
cases?
all the lots.
Do you expect more to be brought?
No.
Okay.
No, no, oh, no.
The issue here is I don't really think it's in the public interest to offer a volume discount. And what I mean is I can't really reward the fact that you did it on 3 properties instead of just 1. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Well, regardless of how it feels, I mean, the thing is that I'm admitted to practice in federal courts across the country. And in every federal court, take Maryland, for example, I have to read all 80 pages of their local rules before I file anything.
Yes.
In the Central District of California, it's 200 pages, so I get in trouble if I don't read those local rules, and, believe me, I'll get in trouble. I don't know why, but I will. It's the way of federal practice these days. It's the same thing with development. I mean, this may be a costly lesson, but the reality is that every county does it different,
Yes.
What's the county's recommendation on this case?
It's gonna be $5,000 for each case.
I'm not going to give a volume discount, but I am going to give on case number 25-808, which is 5525 North DeCarlo Drive. I'm going to say $2,000 fine. And then on case number 25-809, 5559 North DeCarlo Drive, I'm going to do another $2,000. So I did reduce it a little. This is not something I normally do, but good luck.
Thank you.
Next, two cases on the agenda, Kenneth W. Pressgrove, case numbers 2025-00784 and 2025-00846. Code officer on the case, Erica Olson, pages 29 and 30 of your agenda.
Your Honor, I was notified by the officer on the case that she spoke with Mr. Pressgrove, and they have come to an agreement of no contest on both cases, 30 days to abate in both cases, and $100 a day thereafter if not brought into compliance on both cases.
All right, and so just for the record, this is pages 29 and 30, Mr. Presgrove?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you say, it's 30 days to abate in each case, and if it's not, what is the penalty? 100 a day?
$100 a day thereafter.
All right, sir, does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we've got two cases here. One is case number 25-784, which has to do with vehicles. The other is case number 25-846, which has to do with junk. And in each case, what I'd be doing is, because you're not contesting that there's a violation, I'd be granting you 30 days to abate the violation in each of the cases. And if it's not brought into compliance within those 30 days, there'd be a $100 a day fine. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on either of these cases? All right, then I'm going to issue written orders to that effect, and I appreciate you coming today. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Next case, David Roberts and Bonnie L. Roberts, case number 2025-00739. Code officer Erica Olson, page 31 of your agenda.
I do. David Roberts.
All right. Good morning, sir. And I would ask that when you do speak into the microphone so that we can pick it up.
Hello.
There we go. Please proceed.
Erica Olson, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is case number CE 2025-00739, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20, TAC 31 Alpha of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 13270 South Crater Terrace, Floral City. It's 4.7 acres in zone RUR-MH. Property owner is David Roberts. I have good service via posting the notice of hearing on the property and posting at the Lecanto Government Building.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about the case?
Yes. So the property is heavily wooded. You can see that there is maybe appliances or like larger items kind of like in the more towards the front. The property is very large.
Maybe, or there are?
There are, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, I'm saying maybe because I can just see large appliance-like items.
Okay.
I did notice some car parts, some totes, and then just like some miscellaneous items kind of strewn throughout the property.
All right. So, sir, first of all, are you contesting whether or not there's a violation?
Nope, she's absolutely right.
Okay. Well, I mean, assuming that to be true, then how much time would you need to clean it up?
You probably don't want to hear this, but at least 1 year.
I'm curious. I mean, why 1 year?
Like she said, it's heavily wooded, and those 2 hurricanes that went over us last year had trees down, broken branches, and I was working on that, and then we came into a drought. You know, you're moving into a drought area, and I've been spending almost all my time cleaning up brush and stuff like after watching the LA fires and stuff like that. I was concentrating on that, and while I was doing that, I noticed exactly what she noticed. Like, I got a lot of stuff around here to.
Well, I mean, 5 acres is a good size. Well, 4.7 is a good size. And
I'm a low-income elderly. My wife's disabled, so I spend a lot of time. I got to do like the shopping and stuff like that. So a lot of my time is that I don't. If I had $20,000-$30,000 in my pocket, I could, hire like landscape company, tree trimmers, demolition crews to come in and like clean up the stuff, but I'm basically doing everything myself. So right now I'm seeing if I'm eligible for Social Security, so I'll have some income. That way I can like get some roll-off dumpsters in there.
Well, let's do this. I'm very curious now to see the photos. Can you take a look at what's been proposed as Exhibits A and B and let me know if you have any objections to them being evidence in this hearing?
They're dated and timestamped, and these are Exhibit B, it's all the paperwork that was sent to you.
I just want to know if you have objections to them, because I'd like to see them.
No, now see, this is like up a 25-foot driveway by my gate with obviously maybe like a zoom lens. But if you're driving down the road, you can hardly even see anything.
That's not what I'm looking at them
Well-
for. I understand. I mean, frankly, it doesn't matter to me whether it's only visible by a telescope from the moon if they had a constitutional right to look at it. My point is, I want to just see what it looks like myself, so that I have an idea of how long it does take. So take your time in looking through this, but let me know if you have any objections.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah, you said you wanted to look at these?
Well,
That's fine.
I'd like to know if you have any objections to them
No.
being evidence in this hearing. Okay.
This is mine, not yours.
No, the paper flip.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, I don't hear any objections. What's been proposed as Exhibits A and B are now evidence. Have I been retitled as a special magistrate? That's fine by me. I mean, I think that is the trend these days, so that's fine. We have had one complaint about my title in the years that I've been here. I don't know if you remember that, but. I do remember. Yeah, all right, so let's take a look. Exhibits A and B are evidence. To Mr. Roberts' point, what kind of camera was used to take these photos? Is there a zoom lens? Was there?
It's the county issued phone.
County issued phone?
Yes, sir.
And did you have to zoom in to get these photos?
I did.
Okay,
Was at the gate though. I didn't
interesting. Okay.
trespass.
I try to keep my land as natural as possible. There's not too many places for wildlife anymore. A couple
true.
days ago, I looked out my back door and there was a deer about 10 feet away sitting there staring at my cat. They were just looking at each other. It's kind of like a,
Do y'all see fireflies out where you are?
oh yeah.
You do? Okay.
Usually it's beginning of summer is their little season. I know that doesn't matter either.
I'm just thinking about it. What's the county's recommendation?
Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully requests that the special magistrate assess a fine of $100 per day along with administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient. What did I say?
I really don't think
He said he
this
liked it
takes
better.
a year. I do think it takes some time. I don't think, it seems pretty dense. I don't know. It's not Papua New Guinea or anything, but it's dense.
In 1 year, I'll have it looking like Club Med.
Well, let's see if you can do it in 3 months. I'm going to give 3 months, and if it's not brought into compliance within 3 months, there'll be a daily $100 a day fine, and Mr. Roberts, I've seen miracles, but I don't think this is gonna take a miracle. I really don't. I mean, based on the photos, I can't see it taking that long. So, especially, now, if there are.
Anyway, as long as I'm showing massive progress.
That's up to the county, you know, how they enforce my orders. That's up to the county. And if there was something like a storm type event, I would assume that the county would work with you, you know, instead of you having to come back in front of me to ask for more time or something like that. But
A lot of this is accumulated from the hurricanes last year,
yeah,
like appliance damage from power surges.
well, in 7 years of being a special master here, I think I've only extended the time to comply one time in 7 years. So it's theoretically, and it was because of a
about two?
hurricane. No, I really don't think so. I really think you can get it done. My first instinct was 2 months. I'm gonna give you 3, $100 a day if it's not brought into compliance as ordered, okay?
Thank you.
Good luck.
I have 3 months before you start
Correct,
giving me a fine or
Correct.
whatever. All right, thank you.
good luck.
Next case, Andrew Frank Zajac Jr. and Patricia A. Buckmeyer. Case number 202500805. Code Officer Julie Wilkinson, page 35 of the agenda.
Yes, ma'am.
Andrew F. Zajac Jr.
Patricia A. Buckmeyer.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Excuse me.
Case number 2500805, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 226 South Barber Street in Beverly Hills. The property owners are Andrew Frank Zajac and Patricia A. Buckmeyer. Mayor. I have good service via posting the notice of hearing at the property and at the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during an initial inspection on May 28th, 2025. Photos from a corrective action inspection on June 12th, 2025. And photos from my final inspection conducted on July 15th, 2025. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, a photo of the notice of hearing posted at the property, and a copy of the posting affidavit.
Can you give me a little narrative on what's going on?
Yeah, so this property is a junk. There was a lot of junk in the beginning. There has been progress made. Mr. Zajac has been cleaning it up, steadily, but there's still a lot more progress that needs to happen. I have been in contact with Miss Buckmeyer.
That's okay.
And she has been working with me. She told me that she doesn't live there at the property. Their parents have passed it down to them, and so her brother lives there. She's explained to me that the junk and debris belongs to her brother, and for certain reasons, is having a hard time, wanting to get rid of it.
Okay, all right. So with that, normally what we do is I go through whatever the county's case is first. And are you contesting whether there's a violation on the property? You're
No,
not.
not at all. I have a quick claim deed as well.
Okay, well, what do you mean?
I don't want to be responsible for however he decides to live. I don't want to be the one paying for something that I don't live there, I don't homestead it, I don't,
Okay,
nothing.
well, are
But
you
I'm
saying?
still his POA, I'm his caregiver, I am his SSI.
But are you saying that you have executed a quitclaim deed to him?
To the house only, right?
Well, who
I
is
don't
the
understand it.
quitclaim deed? Did you sign the quitclaim deed?
Yes.
And who did you give ownership to? Okay, so now he's the sole owner.
He's sole owner.
And has that deed, when was that deed executed?
July 7th.
All right, now, that doesn't, I just have to tell you, according to the Citrus County Code, get you out of liability.
I get that.
Now, that's fine. The point of this hearing is to get compliance, however
Right,
that's
right.
achieved. So
Yep.
normally what we do is we give a certain amount of time. But you're not contesting the violation, so
No.
I guess what I want to ask is how much time do you need?
much time as you can give me. Since I've been told to do this, I'm doing and complying any
Yeah.
way that I,
He's been,
any way that I can.
That's fine.
I
and
will
he's
do
just
what-
had open heart surgery in January, so.
Okay, yeah.
And I
Gotta
do
give him a
everything
little
I
bit
do
of-
everything myself.
Mhm.
Yes, I know I've acquired a bunch of junk and stuff, but I do help anybody and everybody in the county, the kids, the elderly. It's just hard for me to make changes, but I will do anything that I have to avoid any problem with anybody.
All right.
And
Well, then,
because
first of all, let
I
me
just-
ask, are there any members of the public who want to be heard on this case? Okay. What I want to see is the photos then, so I can get an understanding. I just need to understand what's going on the
Please
property.
no.
Well, show them to them first if they have any
Please
objection.
know, I will do anything and
Oh,
everything I have
I take
to.
you at face value.
Okay, the other thing I do need to mention, he is autistic, and this
Okay.
is the reason why I am his power of attorney, caregiver, and SSI payee rep. So I still take care of his responsibilities, but not anything that would damper me.
Being autistic can mean a lot of different things, and I've heard him completely audibly and I think fluently, and thank you for speaking up, but I don't know that that's relevant to me today. I just want to ask you if you can look through those photos and let me know if you have any objection to them being evidence in this hearing.
So this was way before. That was May 28th. May 28th. Okay. All of that's been gone. Thank you, Jesus. All of that's gone. Gone, that's gone. That's better. All that's gone. Okay. That's all gone. That's all gone. Okay, this is June. Okay, that's all gone.
What date is this?
That was yesterday, but that is still there, this stuff. Yep, this is yesterday. Okay. It still needs to be continued. Yep, that was yesterday. Yesterday, and that's it.
But they don't have anything that actually looks like, what's the last photo they have here? I mean, I meant to take photos yesterday and today.
Well, that was yesterday, Andy. What did you do yesterday to
But
actually?
they don't show the new pole barn at all.
Because you didn't have it up when they came to look at the pictures.
But
It
they
was
did that.
done at 9:43 yesterday.
Is there an
morning.
unpermitted
there.
pole
No,
barn
it
on the
was-
property?
Well, it's a,
No,
it's
an
a,
existing,
Okay.
it's been there
it's
for.
been there. It's
I
just
got you.
because the
all that
hurricane
hurricane
ripped it
blew
I
down,
out.
see,
all I did
I
was
see.
So
replace
he's
it.
got another one
Oh.
And
that
the
he's
reason
putting
the
his
stuff's
stuff
on
in
the
there.
porch
Okay.
is because every time it got blown down, I didn't want it to get wet, so I would
No, I
put
hear
it
you. Okay.
on the porch. Yeah, but then I want, if I may allow, can I show you what I already have here?
on
No,
his
no,
stuff.
no,
Please.
I
I mean,
don't. I want to
because
see
it
the
does-
photos that were taken by Ms. Wilkinson, so all I want to know is if you have a legal objection to the documents that have been presented to you.
All I'm asking for is time to make it right.
Well, guys, listen very carefully to what I want. I want to know if you have any objections to the documents that are in front of you. That's it. Yes or no?
I don't know what you mean by objections.
Yeah,
No,
well, like, do you think the
I don't
photos were
object to
taken-
anything that's here except for the last photos.
Well, sir, let me answer your question, because I think it's a fair one. What I'm looking for is, do you have any reason to believe the photos aren't authentic? Do you have any reason to think that they don't show the property in question accurately?
Yes, it's accurate, except up to the very end. They didn't take a clear photo of
Oh, I
my
understand.
improvements of
I
what
understand.
I've been doing is what
And that's what I'll want to hear from you. I will want to hear from you, but for now, I would really,
I want to make everything right.
I just want to see the photos.
I'm struggling
this point.
I will do what
I hear
you're
you.
asking,
I hear
promise.
you.
I'm not looking to not.
It doesn't
comply.
sound like it. I mean, I agree. I'm hearing what you're saying, and I agree.
The thing of it is, I'm I'm a simple person. I used to work very, very hard for everything. I've never been like this. I mean, I've always, I'm the one to make, to beautify and make things, to help people. I'm not here to be a junk collector or whatever. I make, the things I do collect, I use to save money, help people, to do right by others. I mean, I don't,
Did y'all grow up in this house?
No, sir.
know.
Our
But I've been
parents
back, but I've
and-
been back and forth in Florida, in Citrus County, since I was 8 years old. I mean, I can tell you the history of Beverly Hills if you want. You got time, I'll sit here and
Okay.
fill your head up.
Our
I've
parents have
watched-
been deceased for, my dad's 17 years, our mom 7.5 years. So within that time,
I've taken
with
care of my
him,
folks.
it's just very difficult for him to move forward.
Okay.
I've
And
taken
I'm
care of my
doing the
folks.
best I
I'd like
can
to
to help
mention
them.
too, and lived in that house, took care of them, and basically watched them both pass.
I don't think this is that bad of a junk case. I mean, we see a lot here, and
And I'm very organized, and that's not really organized. I wish there were more photos to see, to
yeah.
prove to
I mean, it's
you-
not a it's not quite like a blast going off junk case where it's all over the front yard and the backyard or anything like that. But that said, I don't think it's going to take that much time. I mean, I understand the circumstances, but you know, part of the reason why these code sections exist is to prevent nuisances to the neighbors and things like that, right? So,
And my neighbors are very, I don't
well,
have any
I think the
neighbors
photos are pretty clear that it has become a nuisance. What's the county's recommendation?
$100 a day.
Okay, after a time that I deem sufficient to,
Yes, sir.
okay. It just doesn't seem that bad. And you realize it's not just a matter, it's not as if everything has to necessarily be discarded. It has to be enclosed.
I've already through.
Well, sir, listen to what I'm gonna say. It has to be enclosed, you know, and so I'm just gonna read the section.
Sir?
No, I'm not done. It shall be unlawful for the owner or tenant of any land to permit, cause, or have thereon any accumulation of junk debris, et cetera, except for junk stored in enclosed litter receptacles or completely enclosed buildings. So, I mean, to the extent you have a garage, it can go in there, okay? But those are your options. So I'm not inclined to give something like 3 months or something like that. I just don't think it'll take that long. What did you want to say?
I would suggest, because of his conditions and him doing this by himself, 30 days. And being his sister and knowing other people that could help him do this,
Yeah.
I just don't want to be responsible paying for anything because I'm on disability myself.
Yeah, I mean,
Could it be more than 30 days? What, can you please?
Maximum.
Can you give me
what you
some more
can.
time than that, please?
I could.
I'd deeply appreciate it if you could.
This case started in May, you know, so we're already in July. I have a hard time justifying.
Yeah, but each day that goes by, I'm getting better. I mean, I go for my
I know,
therapy,
but
go
I have a hard
for-
time justifying to
for
the
doctor's
public giving a
appointments. My
lot
sister
more than
helps
30
me.
days.
It's not like, if I was a healthy person, I could see you
Yeah,
just saying this is what it is, period.
Yeah.
But I'm begging you. I mean.
all right, I'll give you 35 days. I'll give you 35 days. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but
I was asking more for 2 months, maybe, please.
this is a lot of time for this case. And,
Also, my condition,
well,
I'm
look,
I'm begging you.
I just
you
don't know if we're looking at the same photos. I mean, this is
I have more here if you'd like to see them in my phone.
of more junk?
No,
No,
of my
of
improvements.
elimination.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you require less time. I've seen the improvements. You don't get more time when you've made improvements, you get less because you're doing well. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay, all right. Again, I mean, I'm gonna look one more
I have good
time.
days, I have bad days. I you know, I mean,
All right, based on
see
your condition,
doctors and
I've heard you. I'll give you 45 days. I'm not going to 60. There's just no way with this case. I'll give you 45 days.
45.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, and if it's not brought into compliance as ordered, there will be a $100 a day fine. And I really do wish you the best of luck. Okay? Good luck.
Thank you.
Next case on the agenda, Sharon A. Wilder, case number 202500635. Code Officer Erica Olson, page 34 of your agenda.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes. My name is Christine Portwood. I am a tenant of Sharon Wilder.
Okay, thank you. I don't know who that. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Erica Olson, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is case number CE 202500635, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20 through 31 Alpha of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 11661 East Laurel Court, Floral City, 0.27 acres, zoned CLR-MH. Property owner is Sharon A. Wilder. I have good service via posting the notice of hearing on the property and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. At this time, I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on the 8th of May, 2025. Photos of my corrective action inspection, 22 May, 2025. And my final inspection yesterday, 15th of July, 2025. Exhibit B, copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, a copy of the notice of hearing posted on the property, and a copy of the posting affidavit.
Can you give me a narrative?
This property there has been progress made. When I first went out there, there was quite a bit of junk, car parts, furniture, office chairs, and filing cabinets. They cut down a tree. There's like tree debris in the front yard. In the back, there's lots of furniture.
Okay, all right. Ma'am, are you contesting whether there's a violation on the property?
No, there is a violation. I just need time to fix it.
How much time do you need to fix it?
30 days if possible.
All right, I just want to take a look at the photos then, and we'll see if that's reasonable.
She is not the owner, is my understanding. She's a tenant.
Well, your code talks about violator, and you made the argument recently at another hearing that violators can be.
It can't be. She wasn't the person cited.
I know.
Is my only
I
indication.
know. I get it. I mean, actually, that does raise an interesting point. So if we are citing, if the county's citing owners, but we get tenants, and it's undisputed under the evidence that a tenant is responsible, does the county want me to hold an owner responsible, or does the county want me to hold a tenant responsible, or both? I mean,
It's my understanding that the county's position, unless administration changes it, is we want you to proceed with the person that was cited.
I don't think the county's ever cited a tenant before. Has the county ever cited a tenant?
Usually we don't, because they don't have any property to hold as a collateral. We have nothing to lien as the tenant. The owner is the one who has something to lien and can put teeth to the
Okay,
violation.
that makes sense. That makes sense to me. Thank you. Do you have any objection to the exhibits?
No.
All right. And I would just want to take a look so I can figure out if that's a reasonable. In other words, I don't like to set people up for failure either if it takes more time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like there's been improvement. Okay, I mean, so if 30 days works, I'm okay with that based on the evidence. What is the county's recommendation?
$100 a day plus administrative cost to start after the date you deem.
Is there anyone here from the public who wants to be heard on the case? All right, then I see no reason why not to enter that. I will find that there is a violation on the property. I'll grant 30 days to bring it into compliance. If it's not brought into compliance, $100 a day.
Perfect.
On
Thank
the
you.
owner. You understand?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
for sure. She's got a bad back, bad knees. We're actually helping her out because she's
Okay.
letting us store our stuff there.
Okay.
But it is our stuff, so it is our
Gotcha.
responsibility.
That's
So
fair.
we have no problem taking responsibility if we're in
A lot
fixing
of
the
people do
issue.
have a problem taking responsibility, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next case, Pamela Lynn, case number 202500689, Code Officer Erica Olson. Page 27 of the agenda, expert on the case, Land Development Director Joanna Katu.
Please proceed.
Case number 202500689, special requirements for all accessory structure, a violation of Citrus County Land Development Code 3102 Alpha. The address is 6548 West Oaklawn Street, Homosassa, 1.23 acres and zoned RUR-MH. Property owner is Pamela Lynn. I have good service posting on the property and posting at the LaCanto Government Building. At this time, I'd like to take the time to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on the 22nd of May, photos from my corrective action on the 10th of June, and photos of my pre-hearing inspection on the 14th of July. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, a copy of the notice of hearing posted on the property, and a copy of the posting affidavit.
Okay. All right, what's been proposed as exhibits A and B are admitted as evidence. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? I don't see or hear anyone. Please proceed.
This property was deemed unsafe and demolished on the 17th of April of 2025, and that case abated on the 22nd of April 2025 when the officer assigned to that case inspected and noted that all the items that remained on the property, including the remnants of the mobile home, were removed. The listed owner is deceased and this property is in probate. On the 22nd of May, I conducted my initial inspection and found the property to be in violation of the above ordinance. During this inspection, I observed a truck, RV, buses, tents, and some garbage. Several transient people were living on the property again. An NOV was issued. On the 10th of June, I conducted my corrective action inspection and observed the property to remain in a similar condition. An NOH was issued. On the 1st of July, I posted the property for hearing and observed that the larger items have been removed from the property. I conducted my final inspection on the 14th of July and observed the property to remain in violation with some small debris and garbage. I was able to make contact with the probate attorney who passed my information along to an interested party, Shauna Beam. I was able to make contact with her on the 22nd of May, and I did attempt to explain the cases to her, but it's going through probate, so there wasn't really anything she could.
Okay. Really? They said there's nothing they could do?
That's what she said.
Who was the probate attorney?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I mean, is it? Do you know what county it's in? I mean, presumably it's in probate here in Citrus County.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
She wasn't even aware that the property had been demoed, and that I couldn't even really talk to her about this case because she was upset about the demolition.
Okay. What's the county's recommendation?
$150 a day along with administrative cost to begin after the date you deem sufficient.
30 days, $150 a day.
Thank you.
Next two cases, Alexander P. Uvasic, case numbers 202500776 and 202500778. Code Officer Erica Olson, pages 32 and 33 of your agenda. Expert on case number 778 is Land Development Director Joanna Katu.
Case number 202500778, special requirements for all accessory uses, a violation.
Wait a second. I saw a yawn. Sir, you may think that this isn't the most entertaining thing you've ever seen, but I assure you our many YouTube viewers disagree with you, okay? So please proceed.
A violation of 3102 Bravo of the Citrus County Land Development Code. Case number 2500776, unlicensed and inoperable vehicles, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 4, 5. It's in Roman numerals, and I'm going to
4?
be honest, so I don't know. Section 20, TAC 41 of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 5189 South Nob Hill Terrace, Homosassa. 0.23 acres, zoned MDR MH. Property owners Alexander P. Yusevic. I have good service via certified mail return receipt and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. I'd like to authenticate the following documents for each case. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on 22 May, compliance inspection on the 10th of June, and my photos of my final inspection on the 14th of July. Exhibit B for each case, a copy of the notice of violation, copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, and a copy of the certified mail return receipt.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on either of these cases? I don't see anybody. All right, what's been proposed as exhibits A and B is admitted accordingly in each case. I'll just take a moment to look through the photos. Unlicensed vehicle. So it's just one vehicle?
It's that vehicle and the RV.
Oh, and the RV.
Yes, sir.
'Cause
Which I don't have photos of, but they did tell me it was unlicensed, so.
They told you it was unlicensed?
Yes, sir.
Who told you that?
The tenant of the shed, his name is Ken Long.
Okay.
He claimed ownership of the RV and the vehicle.
And did he tell you that the Cadillac is unlicensed? Or
He did.
unregistered?
He
or-
did, and I ran the plates, and it expired in 2021.
Gotcha. And did he indicate that he was going to fix it or get it fixed?
He did, sir. He said that he was on disability, and he was doing the best he could. Let me see when that was. That was the 23rd of June that I talked to him.
What about this living in an accessory structure thing? I mean, you said he's living in a shed. He's not living in the...
The home, no, sir, he's not. He's living in the shed. I talked to the owner, Mr. Yusevic, and he said that that gentleman was living in the shed and has been living in the shed since the hurricanes last year. He said that he was having a hard time getting him out of the shed.
Wow. I mean, did you see him? Did you talk to him outside of the shed?
So I've had cases on this property before. Last year, I did talk to several people. I don't know if it was this particular person. But I mean, there are signs that someone's living in the shed. I mean, there's like clothes hung up next to it and like a cooler. There used to be like a mosquito net on the door to the shed, you know. And then, you know, both of them admitted it, so.
Okay. What's the county's recommendation?
Citrus County Code Compliance Division respectfully request a fine of $200 a day per violation along with administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient.
All right. In the accessory structure case, I'll grant 10 days, and it'll be $200 a day if not brought into compliance as ordered. In the unlicensed vehicle case, I'll grant 14 days, and if it's not brought into compliance as ordered, $200 a day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next case on the agenda, Arthur and Karen Klaber, case number 2025-00539, Code Officer Alan Jonason, page 24 of the agenda.
Now, sir, you've been waiting patiently. Are you here for a case? Yeah. Oh, you're just hanging out? Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'll try and kick it up a notch. No,
Step your game up.
Yeah. All right, please proceed.
Alan Jonason, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. This is case number 2025-00539, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. Address is 4841 East Doeskin Loop, Inverness, Florida. Property owners are Klaber Karen and Klaber Arthur. This property is 0.20 acres and is zoned MDR-MH and was purchased 7 July 2022. I have good service via signed certified mail receipt and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. I'd like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on 21 April 2025, photos from a compliance inspection on 5 June 2025, and photos from my final inspection conducted on 15 July 2025. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the signed certified mail receipt, and a copy of the pre-hearing order.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? Seeing no one, I will admit what's been proposed as Exhibits A and B into evidence. Please proceed.
On 21 April 2025, I conducted my initial inspection and observed the property to be in violation with miscellaneous junk and debris throughout the property. On 21 April 2025, a notice of violation was issued for junkyard conditions, which is a violation of the ordinance mentioned earlier. On 5 June 2025, I conducted a compliance inspection and observed that the property remained in violation, although they have made progress. I have had contact with the property owner, but as of my final inspection on 15 July 2025, the property remains in violation.
And how did the contact go?
Very well.
Yeah.
She's in the process of evicting this person on the property. As you can see from some of the later photos from yesterday, they are in the process of cleaning it up. I anticipate that may already be completed.
Really?
They were working diligently. They'd taken out 4 dumpster fulls, I guess, and again, she's been very communicative with me and has kind of walked me through the entire process. So.
Okay. I mean, did she say how much time they needed?
She didn't. She said it would be done yesterday by 5 o'clock, but unfortunately, I don't know that that's the case, but I would say probably 30 days just to make sure.
Yeah, it seemed like a solid junk case, so
Yes, sir.
I am inclined to do 30 days. What's the county's recommendation?
$100 a day.
Okay, then we'll do 30 days, $100 a day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next case, Aviso Services LLC, case number 2025-00819, Code Officer Cody McGuire, page 8 of your agenda.
Cody McGuire, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer, case number 2025-00819, excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation, violation of Chapter 20, Article 6, Section 20-61 of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. Address is 11725 West Bayshore Drive in Crush River, Florida, Zone CLR, and is 0.20 acres. Property owner is Aviso Services LLC. Good service. Posting the notice of hearing at the property and at the Lecanto Government Building. I'd like to authenticate the following documents and request to be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during initial inspection on March 30th, 2025. Corrective action inspection on June 16th, 2025. And photos of my final inspection on July 14th of 2025. Exhibit B is a copy of the notice of violation, copy of the notice of hearing, copy of the signed certified mail return receipt, a picture of the property posted in a pre-hearing order.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? I don't see or hear anyone. What's been proposed as Exhibits A and B is now evidence. And I really do think the photos speak for themselves on this. You know, these are my favorite type of cases. But you took the photos on the dates indicated?
Yes, sir.
Have you had contact with the owner?
I have not. The property did come into compliance as of my final inspection on the 14th. We're just asking for administrative cost.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, let me look at your Exhibit B. So you want me to make a finding that the property was in violation and that the owner should be responsible for the administrative costs of the case?
Correct.
I think I can do that. Have I ever done that? Yes. I know I've found that I've made findings that there are violations, you know, so that's for the purposes of laying a predicate that later on there's a repeat violation. But I don't remember, and I'm not saying I didn't do it, but I just don't remember expressly ordering the administrative costs.
Yes, give me 1 second to find the.
I'm looking at 19-55.
section.
Just give me 1 second. Yep. 19-55 subsection A, if a violation is corrected before a hearing, the violator shall pay the enforcement costs incurred by the county. Okay, so found. I'll issue that order.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next case, Michael R. Carpenter, case number 202500231. Code Officer Erica Olson, page 11 of the agenda.
Short. This is case number CE 202500231, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20, TAC 31 Alpha of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 12677 East Big Buck Trail in Floral City, 1.77 acres, zone CLR MH. Owner is Michael R. Carpenter. I have good service via signed certified mail return receipt and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on the 18th of February, photos taken during my corrective action inspection on the 5th of March, 2025, and photos taken the final inspection conducted on the 14th of July, 2025. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, and a copy of the certified mail return receipt.
Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? I don't see anyone. All right, let's take a look. Exhibits A and B are evidence. Please proceed.
On the 18th of February, 2025, I conducted my initial inspection and found the property to be in violation of the above-mentioned ordinance. During this inspection, I observed scrap metal and a large circle K sign. There was also some miscellaneous junk and debris that was hard to make out exactly what it was. An NOV was issued. On the 5th of March, I conducted my corrective action inspection and found the property remained in a similar state as my previous inspection. A notice of hearing was issued. On the 14th of July, a pre-hearing inspection was conducted and the property did remain in violation. Scrap metal, a trailer loaded with some miscellaneous junk and debris remained. I have had contact with the property owner during my March 5th inspection. He stated that he was working on getting the yard cleaned up.
I mean, this is a fairly old case.
It
right?
is.
I mean, why only now?
I had so many cases and I had talked to him and he seemed like he was gonna clean it up.
You gave him a
so
chance.
I gave him a chance.
All right, what's the county's recommendation?
We request $100 per day along with administrative costs begin after the date you deem sufficient.
30 days, $100 a day.
Thank you.
Next two cases, Mary Cleary, case numbers 202500786 and 202500787. Code Officer Cody McGuire, pages 12 and 13 of the agenda.
Cody McGuire, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer, case numbers 202500786 and 202500787, accumulation of junk and debris and excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation. Address is 791 North Griffith Avenue in Crystal River. It's zoned LDRMH and is at half an acre. The property owner is Mary L. Cleary. Good service via posting the property in at the Lecanto Government Building. I'd like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on May 27th, 2025. Corrective action inspection on June 10th, 2025. And photos of my final inspection on July 14th. Exhibit B is a copy of notice of violation, copy of the notice of hearing, copy of the posting affidavit, and a photo of the of the notice of hearing posted on the property and a pre-hearing order.
Okay, is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard? Don't see or hear anyone. The proposed exhibits are admitted as evidence. In each case, they'll be exhibits A and B respectively. Go ahead.
All right, on May 27th, 2025, I conducted an initial inspection and observed the property to be in violations. A notice of a violation was issued for junkyard conditions and overgrown, which is a violation of the ordinance listed above. On June 10th, I conducted a corrective action inspection with just a little change and some of the junk being removed. And then as of my final inspection on July 14th, 2025, the property still remains in violation. 2 out of the 3 times that I've been there, I've knocked on the door and nobody's come. I left the door hanger, nobody's replied. They got rid of the unlicensed vehicles, but the junk and the overgrown's still there.
It looks like it's improved.
It has.
Okay.
The grass is hard to tell because it's in spots, but it's the majority of the backyard by the hot tub.
Yeah. Okay, what's the county's recommendation?
100 per violation.
All right, in the overgrown grass case, I'll grant 10 days, and if it's not brought into compliance in 10 days, $100 a day. On the junkyard conditions case, 14 days, and if it's not brought into compliance in 14 days, $100 a day.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Next 2 cases, EKS Services LLC, case numbers 2025-00791 and 2025-00792. Code Officer Julie Wilkinson, pages 15 and 16 of the agenda.
All right. For case number 00791, it's accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. For case number 00792, it's going to be an excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation. A violation of Chapter 20, Article 6, Section 20-61 of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 6002 North Rosebark Way in Beverly Hills. Property owner is EKS Services, LLC. I have good service via signed certified mail return receipt, and I would like to authenticate the following documents and request it be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during an initial inspection on May 22nd, 2025. Photos from a corrective action inspection on June 10th, 2025. And photos from my final inspection on July 15th, 2025. Exhibit B, a copy of the notices of violation, copies of the notices of hearing, copies of the general pre-hearing order, and copies of the signed certified mail return receipt.
All right, so this is exhibits A and B in each case.
Yes.
All right, they're admitted without objection. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard? I don't see or hear anyone. All right, I'll let you proceed.
So this property is a single-family residence, 1.38 acres, and zoned rural residential. The house appears vacant. There's some loose trash and furniture in the driveway, which is the junk case. And the weeds that are in the lawn have grown over 18 inches, and that's the lawn case.
Yeah.
I have had no contact with any property owner.
Okay. It's a very low-grade junk case, but it's there. All right, then what's the county's recommendation?
Oh, it's going to be $100 a day per violation.
In each case, I'll grant 10 days, and it'll be $100 a day if it's not brought into compliance.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next case is on the agenda, Robert W. Hufford. There's going to be 3 cases, case numbers 2025-00794, 2025000842 and 2025000849. Code Officer Cody McGuire, pages 19, 20, and 21 of your agenda.
Thank you. All right, please proceed.
All right, Cody McGuire, Citrus County Code Compliance Officer. Case numbers 2025-00794, accumulation of junk and debris. Case number 2025-00842 is excessive growth and accumulation of vegetation. And case number 2025-00849 is unlicensed inoperable vehicles. The address is going to be 5289 North Summer Wind, Christian River, Florida, zoned RURMH, and it's just over an acre. It's 1.03. The property owner is Robert W. Herford, and I have good service via posting the property and at the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted in evidence. Exhibit A's are going to be photos taken on March 28th, 2025 of my initial inspection, corrective action inspection on June 12th, and photos of my final inspection on the 14th of July. Exhibit B is going to be copies of the notice of violations, copies of the notice of hearings, copy of the posting affidavits, and photos of the notice of hearings posted on the property and pre-hearing orders.
Okay. So we've got exhibits A and B in each of the 3 cases, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, bless you. They're all admitted without objection. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on any of the 3 cases? I don't see or hear anybody. Okay, please proceed.
Okay. On May 28th, 2025, I conducted an initial inspection and observed the property to be in violations. A notice of violations was issued for junkyard, overgrown, and unlicensed inoperable vehicles, which are violations of the ordinance listed above. On June 12th, I conducted a corrective action inspection and noticed little change in like the vegetation matter, but everything else still remained in violation. On July 14th, I did my corrective action or my final inspection, and I was able to talk to Shauna. She is Robert's girlfriend who he's incarcerated. She's currently staying there and trying to clean up the property.
Okay. So she indicated that there are efforts to clean it up.
Yes, sir. Whenever I spoke to her on the 14th, her lawnmower had actually just broke down whenever I was pulling up. And she's got a girlfriend there that's helping her get rid of some of the tree debris. Mm-hmm. And 3 out of the 4 unlicensed vehicles have already been removed.
How long is Mr. Hufford going to be gone for?
She did not indicate.
Okay. I mean, how big is the property?
1.03 acres. It's a really open corner lot.
It seems fairly rural.
It is.
I mean, do you require in a rural lot that everything be mowed down to below 18 inches?
Yeah, ordinance is ordinance. But even if it wasn't the grass, it would be all that debris.
Well, I agree with you, but what if it was 20 acres and all of it was wooded except for the quarter-acre house?
So I would seek advice before.
We see these cases, you know, and I've never seen you enforce that. So maybe there's.
If I could have one moment, I believe the ordinance has an exception in it of if it hasn't been mowed in
if it hasn't been maintained.
Well, yeah, there's that. But
then it would not have to be enforced.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Do you have evidence that this was mowed in the last 5 years?
Yeah, she told me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was currently on a lawnmower whenever I pulled up.
She was actually on it?
Yeah, and then it broke a belt.
I see. All right, so I've seen that one. Now I look at the unlicensed vehicle. What's the one that's remaining?
The last one.
The truck?
Yes, sir. She said that should be moved at the beginning of next week.
All right, what's the county's recommendation?
That would be 100 per violation.
Okay, on the vehicle, 14 days, $100 a day. That is case number 25-849. On the grass case, we'll do 30 days, $100 a day. That's case number 25-842. On the junk case, well, I'll do 45 days and $100 a day since we've already done 45 days.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next case, David Ferreira, case number 202500855, Code Officer Julie Wilkinson, page 17 of the agenda.
Okay.
Is this Mr. Ferrera who's appeared before?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is a repeat violation initially observed on May 30th, 2025. The address of the violation is 1 Beverly Hills Boulevard in Beverly Hills. Case number CE 00855, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The property owner is David Ferreira, has been previously found guilty of the same violation at the same location on February 20th, 2025. That case number is CE 2024-02081. With the case was abated on February 20th, 2025 with $297.79 in imposed fines and administrative costs. I have good service via posting the property and posting at the Lake Canto government building, and I have signed certified return mail receipt. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, the findings of fact and order acknowledging compliance from previous case number CE 2024-02081. Exhibit B, photos taken during an initial inspection on May 30th, 2025. Photos I took during my subsequent inspections on June 10th, 18th, 24th, July 1st, 8th, and 9, 10, on July 11th, and my final inspection on July 15th. Exhibit C, a copy of the repeat notice of violation and hearing sent to David Ferreira, a photo of the notice of violation and hearing posted at the property, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, and a copy of the posting affidavit.
Okay, without objection, what's been proposed as exhibits A, B, and C are admitted as evidence. I'm just going to take a look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Okay. Have you had contact with Mr. Ferreira?
This time I have not, but I've had a lot of contact with a lot of different people at the property. But with the property owner, no. He hasn't even called.
Well, what are people saying at the property about what's going on?
So the people at the property, they're workers or volunteers, and they're saying they're trying to keep it under control. Every time I go there, they ask what needs to be done, and I explain to them every single time, like more than 5 times have I explained what they can and cannot do. And they're just saying they can't control what everybody's doing. It just seems like, well, I don't know, this could be an assumption, but it just seems like one worker thinks one thing is okay and the other doesn't, and they're all just kind of just doing whatever.
Are these things just being put out for pickup, or, I mean, there's different things like every time.
Yeah, there's different things every time. The stuff that's on the sidewalks is allowed to be there, but they can't have merchandise out in the parking lot in the asphalt area for sale. And they have, from what I've been told from complainants, they have weekend sales, and then they don't put the stuff back away after the sale of the parking lot sale is over, which they can't even have in the first place, the parking lot sale. Some stuff is brought in for donation. Some stuff is junk that they just haven't removed. But it is different. But there is also some of the same stuff that's there for multiple days in a row, which you can see with the appliances, for example, when I went out there 8th, 9th, 10th, and they were still there.
Did notice that. All right, well, what are you proposing that I find?
Well, I'm proposing that you find them guilty of this violation again. And I have some dates for fines, because some days it was in compliance and some days was out.
Yeah, I want to hear the dates.
Okay. I would like $150 a day with the administrative costs beginning on the date of the posting of the property, which was June 3rd. And I would like that to continue until June 10th. And begin again from June 18th and continue until June 24th. And then begin again on July 1st and continue until June 11th. Yes, sorry, July 1st to July 11th. I apologize. And then one last day of July 15th for the fine.
Okay.
And then I would also like $250 a day from today moving forward until it's abated.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I don't have a photo, but I'm assuming you said the date of posting was June 3rd?
Yes.
And maybe there you have a photo of the posting, but what I'm saying is the property was out of compliance on June 3rd?
Yes, I realize I don't have a photo of the property on the day of the posting, but it was in violation on that day that I posted it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have posted it because I had given them some time to clean up so that it wouldn't be a repeat, but they didn't when I went to inspect.
Okay, so I've matched up the proposed dates with the evidence, the undisputed evidence, taking the form of both testimony and photos, and I will find that there is a repeat violation. Of course, exhibits A, B, and C are evidence, and I will assess a $150 a day fine for the periods of June 3rd to June 10th, June 18th to June 24th, July 1st to July 11th, and on the day of July 15th. From today's date forward, given that the violation continues and exists, it will be a fine of $250 until it's abated. Is that it?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Next case, Eli Ronald Joseph, case number 202500653. Code Officer Erica Olson, page 22 of the agenda.
It's case number CE 202500653, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20, TAC 31 Alpha of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. Address is 6370 South Kick Point, Floral City. 0.12 acres, Zone CLR MH. Property owners Eli Ronald Joseph. I have good service via posting the notice of hearing on the property and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to take the time to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on the 8th of May, 2025, my corrective action inspection on the 22nd of May, 2025, and my final inspection on the 14th of July. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, a picture of the notice posted on the property, and a copy of the posting affidavit.
Okay. Let's take a look. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? I don't see or hear anyone. Exhibits A and B are evidence. Please proceed.
On the 8th of May, I conducted my initial inspection and found the property to be in violation of the above-mentioned ordinance. During this inspection, I observed garbage, totes, spare wood, metal, furniture, car parts, and other miscellaneous items. A notice of violation was issued. On the 22nd of May, 2025, a corrective action inspection was conducted, and I observed that progress was made. However, trash remained piled up on the side of the property and some miscellaneous items. An NOH was issued. On the 1st of July, I posted the property for hearing for today. I also made contact with the tenant who stated he was moving out and everything would be cleaned up. On the 14th of July, a pre-hearing inspection was conducted and the property remained in violation.
Okay, what's the county's recommendation?
$100 per day, along with administrative costs, begin after the date you deem sufficient.
14 days, $100 a day.
Thank you.
Next case, Sean A. Kitts, case number 202500773. Code Officer Julie Wilkinson, page 23 of the agenda.
Case number 25-00773, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20-31A of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 22 North Edinburgh Drive in Inverness. The property owner is Sean A. Kitts. I have good service via signed certified mail return receipt. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request it be admitted into evidence. Exhibit A, photos taken during an initial inspection on May 22nd, 2025. Photos from a corrective action inspection on June 10th, 2025, and photos from my final inspection on July 15th, 2025. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, and a copy of the signed certified mail return receipt.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? See or hear anyone? Exhibits A and B are evidence.
This property is a single-family residence. It's 0.22 acres and zoned coastal lakes residential. On May 22nd, 2025, an initial inspection was conducted and I observed an overflowing dumpster, furniture, appliances, dog crates, tarps, plastic totes, loose trash, construction material, household items, and miscellaneous junk and debris on the property. On May 23rd, 2025, a notice of violation was issued for accumulation of junk and debris. On July 10th, a corrective action inspection was conducted and the property remained in violation. As of the final inspection, July 15th, 2025, the property remained in violation and I have not had have not had contact with the property owner. June 10th.
What's the county's recommendation?
$100 a day, please.
Okay, 14 days, $100 a day.
Thank you.
Next case, Robert C. and Florina Knapp, case number 2025-00357, Code Officer Erica Olson, page 25 of the agenda.
This is case number 2025-00357, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20, Tac 31 Alpha of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. The address is 2818 West Glen Street, Lecanto, 0.69 acres, zoned RUR MH. Property owners Robert C. Knapp, Sr. and Florina Knapp. I have good service via posting the notice of hearing on the property and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. I have Exhibit A, photos taken during my initial inspection on the 11th of March, photos of my corrective action inspection on the 25th of March, and photos taken during my final inspection on the 14th of July. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, a copy of the notice of hearing, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, a copy of the notice of hearing posted on the property, and a copy of the posting affidavit.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this case? See or hear anyone? Exhibits A and B are evidence. Go ahead.
On the 11th of March, I conducted an inspection regarding a complaint of junk. During this inspection, I observed trash cans with no lids and overflowing trash by the road. The porch on the shed was completely covered in garbage and miscellaneous junk. By the front door of the home, there was a large pile of garbage bags. I also observed a toilet and some appliances in the front yard. A notice of violation was issued. On the 25th of March, I conducted my corrective action inspection and observed the property to be in a similar state as my initial inspection, and an OH was issued. On the 1st of July, I posted the property for hearing and it remained in violation. On the 14th of July, I conducted my final inspection and there has been some progress. However, the property does remain in violation. I've had no contact with anyone from the property.
What's the county's recommendation?
$100 per day along with administrative costs.
Is that pool? Is that like an above ground pool?
Yes, I believe it is.
I mean, it's not functional, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. Is that a part of your junk case?
Yeah, I mean, it does need to be taken care of. It does kind of look like it's falling down, so it can definitely be included in the junk.
Okay. What about the bikes?
Bicycles, I'm fine with. They appear to be in working order.
Okay. I'm gonna give 30 days on this one, $100 a day.
Thank you.
Last case on the agenda, Nomad RVR LLC, case number 2025-00762, Code Officer Erica Olson, page 28 of the agenda.
Case number CE 2025-00762, accumulation of junk and debris, a violation of Chapter 20, Article 3, Section 20, Tac 31 Alpha of the Citrus County Code of Ordinances. Address is 8935 West Kingston Drive, 29.23 acres, zoned LDR. Property owner is Nomad RVR LLC. I have good service via signed certified mail return receipt and posting at the Lecanto Government Building. I would like to authenticate the following documents and request that they be admitted into evidence. Photos taken during my initial inspection on the 28th of May, 2025, my corrective action inspection on the 11th of June, and my pre-hearing inspection on the 14th of July. Exhibit B, a copy of the notice of violation, owner and RA, a copy of the notice of hearing, owner and RA, a copy of the general pre-hearing order, and a copy of the Sunbiz and the certified mail return receipt.
Okay. That's all just in A and B? Yes. Okay. All right, last case. Is there anyone from the public who wants to be heard on this? I don't see or hear anyone. I have what's been proposed as exhibits A and B, and they are now evidence. Go ahead.
On the 28th of May, I conducted my initial inspection regarding a complaint of junk, and I found that the property to be in violation. During this inspection, I could see a pile of what appears to be construction debris. An NOV was issued, a notice of violation. On the 11th of June, I conducted a corrective action inspection and found the property to remain in violation. On the 14th of July, I conducted my pre-hearing inspection, and the property remained in violation. No contact has been made with anyone from the property, nor have I received any other phone calls.
Okay. What's the county's recommendation?
$100 per day, along with administrative costs to begin after the date you deem sufficient.
14 days, $100 a day.
Thank you.
All right, so that was the last new case, correct? Is there any other business that the county wants to take up before this hearing is adjourned? Okay, the time is 11:01. This hearing's adjourned.